Hello there everybody and welcome back to Magna Carta 2. In the last video we came to Oldfox Canyon and we did a little bit of monster hunting. We now have the 4 tails that were requested by Myer and Igton, so we're going to speak to them and figure out what to do next. With the 4 tails, he is going to make a anti-Inferno bullet. And it's going to lure the Inferno to us, essentially. So what we need to do is go to where the Inferno is, put the bullet down, and lure it out. Now if you look on your map, it doesn't really give you any sort of direction on where to go. Myer just said to head east. So what you're going to want to do is head northeast, taking the first bend north, and then following the path. We're going to kind of go to the central area, and once you've actually gone to where the Inferno shows up, there will be a marker on your map, your mini-map, on where to put the bullet. It just doesn't show up until you're really close. So it does take a little bit of searching. I'm going to completely ignore all of the enemies, and I'm just going to hoof it on down there and get this Inferno beaten. I've gone ahead and I've also taken Argo out. I've picked Rue, Crocell, and Judo. I'm going to be using Rue to heal, and I've also equipped my characters with strong skills that require lots of con, and hopefully that will help me defeat this guy a little bit quicker. So as you can see here, we have our drop spot, which is pretty much smack dab in the middle part of the map here. So once you come to the spot, just press X to throw the bullet on the marker. Alright, so this guy has no level, but I'm assuming it's very high because this enemy is very, very tough, as I had mentioned in the previous video. A lot tougher than the last Inferno we fought, which was quite a while ago, and I do believe that at the time that we fought that, it was level 60, so I can only imagine how much more this Inferno is.
This is it! I have things that I have to protect.
And for me, the key to this battle is to chain like mad crazy. Now, because I have chosen skills that require a lot of con, I'm not going to be able to chain as effectively, but instead I'm going to choose a different tactic, and what I'm going to do is just attack him with all of my higher level skills. And by doing that, it should have the same effect. I should be able to do a lot of damage that way, just because these skills are so powerful. And in the case of Crocell and Judo here, these are the final skills on their skill tree. So they are the most powerful skills that I'm able to use.
Spread the flames! It's the end! Piece of cake.
The quicker that you get this battle finished, the easier that it will become. This guy probably doesn't seem like much now because I have been giving him such a royal thrashing. But as you can see there, he took Judo out with quite a bit of ease. And he's able to do that. He'll focus on one character and he'll do some very, very powerful attacks. And it'll just keep hitting you until you're down for good. So that's why it is good to have one character that you can depend on for healing. in terms of other things to worry about with this boss, I don't think that there's much. I haven't seen any status effects or anything like that. Just very powerful. So that wasn't too bad. We only really had the one casualty that we were able to heal up relatively quickly, so I think we did quite well. That boss provides a whopping 3,000 experience, which is great. We're getting a lot of experience by doing these quests, and we actually do have some more to do as well. These guys are not finished with the blaze, that's for sure. So now all I really need to do is to backtrack. Except for that I'm going the wrong way. And we'll go speak to Myer and give him the good news. And then we'll see what else Hogton has up his sleeve. Now we're pretty impressive, seeing as how 2 of these things have only been killed in the last 100 years. And we were able to just go in and conquer it. Not to mention that we already killed another blaze way earlier on in the story as well. And I'm not particularly overpowered, by the way. I am a couple of levels ahead, but if you've been paying attention to your skill trees and you've learned to do chaining at this point, I don't think that battle will be any more difficult for you than it was for me. So let's speak to Hogton here. This is amazing! We're rich! Here's your reward, everyone. It's quite valuable. So he gives us a recipe, a Kamond, and 5,000 experience, which, you know, isn't bad. It's amazing to think such a mighty monster could be killed. You know, I think you folks are plenty capable of facing an even stronger monster. The thing is, there is such a beast. One famous for not being killed even once in centuries. It's called a giant moth, and a single scale from its wing would fetch a high price. So if you kill an entire giant moth, you might get enough money to make your eyes bulge out. Alright, so this is our next hunt, and if we speak to Myer, he'll give us some more details about this giant moth. It has an extremely odd behavior pattern. No other prey is as difficult. In addition to being nocturnal, it flies away when it's at a disadvantage. It launches sneak attacks from the sky, so you can't take it at night when it's most active. So you draw it out during the day. They say that there's just one, it's appeared in broad daylight. It was at Myer, that's where they say it turned up in broad daylight. The Myer are extremely wary of humans, so I wasn't able to glean any detailed information from them. But one of your team is a Myer, so I think you'll be okay. Get information. Okay, will do. I guess that means that we have to go and speak to the chief. So let's take the fleet and let's go back to Navy Blue Marsh. There seems to be this weird pattern where all of the world's strong monsters just kind of hang out at Myer, which is a little bit weird. I'm sure the chief is sick of us asking about all of these creatures, but in hindsight, we have saved the village quite a few times, and we have taken care of a lot of the monsters that they had a lot of trouble with. So hopefully we can loosen her tongue a little bit and she'll tell us something that we need to know. The giant moth, that was about 30 years ago as I recall. I was a child at the time. We were launching fireworks and a flare called a con essence at a coming of age party. When you set off a con essence, it gets brighter and brighter, giving off light like the sun. That day, we also were setting off con essences after the celebrations began when the ceremony was over. As if drawn to its light, a gigantic monster suddenly appeared, and many Myer lost their lives. Later, we learned that it was a giant moth. Ever since, we have stopped using con essences. It appears that giant moths are phototactic. It was likely drawn to the powerful light. I believe that is why it also attacks villagers that light lanterns at night. A con essence gives off an extremely intense light. That is why the giant moth appeared. Alright, can you tell me more about the essence? You have need of a con essence. You are trying to summon a giant moth? That is dangerous. A con essence is made from the essences of the 4 attributes. Go collect the essences of each. Water, the undersea tunnel. Fire, Oldfox Canyon. Lightning, Ruhalt, wind, Obaset. Acquire each. Okay, so she was extremely helpful. She not only told us a little bit about the moth, but she also told us about the essence and also the locations of where to get the con essence. So we need to go to Strauss's tomb in the undersea tunnel, the fire altar in Oldfox Canyon. We need to go to the lightning altar in Ruhalt Basin and Chieftain's Hill at the Wasteland of Silence. When you collect the essences of the 4 attribute con, I will make you your con essence. Use this. If you carry it, you will be able to see the essences which are normally invisible. And if you use this, you will be able to collect the essences of each attribute. Okay, perfect. I'm glad that you just had that lying around. So this quest is probably one of my least favorites, simply because you have to go all over different parts of the map in order to grab these essences. Fortunately for us, there are a lot of obvious transport fleet shortcuts that we can use, but there is still a lot of walking involved with this quest. And at this time, we are only able to get 3 out of 4. The one at the lightning altar in Ruhalt Basin is going to have to wait. We have passed by the lightning altar several times, but we haven't actually been there yet, and so we're going to save that for a later trip. So I think what I'll do is I'll save at the pillar here, and we'll save that for next time, just because, like I said, there is going to be a lot of walking involved. So join me next time when we play Walking Simulator. Thanks for watching, and I hope that I'll see you then.